Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 22 of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Today's show is brought to you by TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is a hosted website builder that allows you to quickly and easily get a clean and professional website up and running for your computer or tech-focused business. Save time and frustration with TechSite Builder. Learn more at techsitebuilder.com. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about how to get the most out of live events and conferences. How can you position yourself to find partners, clients, and build trust and authority all at the same time? Plus, I'll give a recap of the Unconvention, and I'll discuss mixing business with personal on Facebook. All that and so much more coming up right now. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Computer Business Marketing Show. If you own or work in an IT services business, this is the place to be to learn how to get more clients, keep them happy, and grow your revenue. You can watch, download, and or subscribe to all show episodes at computerbusinessmarketing.com. You can also catch our live stream on Facebook every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just be sure to like the TechSite Builder page and click the following tab and then select See First. So the podcast will jump to the top of your feed in Facebook. Also, if you want to catch up on the show notes or past episodes, head on over to computerbusinessmarketing.com. We have all the shows there that you can download and subscribe to and all that fun stuff. So today, the show is a little bit different. We don't have a guest. It's just me. I'm going to be talking to you guys about my experiences at the Unconvention, which we just had this past weekend. And I'm going to talk about marketing opportunities at events and conventions and how you can take advantage of that, what my experience has been at this event as someone who is marketing my own business at this event, and also how you can take advantage of these types of events. Even if you're not directly marketing to the attendees, you can still practice some of your marketing skills, and these types of events are great opportunities to do that. So that's going to be the topic today: how to take advantage of how to take advantage of live events, in-person events, to market your business or practice marketing your business. Before we jump into that, the featured topic, wanted to do what we always do and take a look in the Computer Business Marketing Facebook group and see what's been going on over there. If you want to join the Computer Business Marketing Facebook group, just search for Computer Business Marketing in Facebook and search for a group called Computer Business Marketing. And jump in there. We ask you a couple really easy questions. Just answer them and we'll get you into the group. We have a lot of fun there. We get a lot of great, helpful feedback, a lot of interesting stuff. So, for example, Jay Burley, who has been a guest on the podcast in the past, he asked a question he actually started a poll. So you know how in Facebook you can create a poll and like put different options that people can choose. And he created a poll asking folks, do you have business contacts as Facebook friends? So that's kind of a big, I won't say controversial topic, but it's, people fall on one side or the other for very different reasons, and people feel pretty strongly about whether they allow business contacts to be friends on Facebook. So the majority of folks said that they allow a select few of their clients to be their friends on Facebook, but only if they're cool people. So a select few that are actually cool people, but that's it. And I think that's a big key, right? The type of clients you have are not necessarily the same type of people that you would be friends with, but there might be some clients who you have that rapport with and that personal relationship with, and you might know their kids and their kids might know your kids. That's a great relationship to have, but it can be tricky because sometimes in business you have to fire your clients because they don't pay on time, or they don't want to pay your rates, or they give you the runaround or whatever. But it's hard to do that with friends. So there's definitely that line, and so you can kind of pick and choose which of your clients you want to be your Facebook friends, and that seems to be what the majority of people do. Another option was the next most popular thing was yes, that a lot of people do mix business and personal. So that, that does seem to be a popular choice as well. And then there were actually almost as many people that just said flat out no, that they will not allow any of their clients or business contacts to be their friends on Facebook. That's what LinkedIn is for, or that's what emailing is for. But Facebook is strictly for friends or personal relationships. And I would agree. I would have agreed with that a few years ago, but nowadays not so much, because Facebook now has become much more than just a personal platform where you can share pictures of your friends and family among your friends and family. Facebook has business pages. You have a business page on Facebook. Facebook's really pushing the messenger service where, someone can message you or message your page. So, the lines are starting to blur. And while there are separate silos in Facebook, there's the business page, there's the groups, and then there's your personal profile. A lot of times your personal profile is going to end up interacting with people in groups, especially groups, or even maybe on your business page as well. So that's when the line starts to get blurred, right? You start interacting with people on the Facebook groups, and then they want to maybe shoot you a quick message, or they want to interact more with you and become your friend. And that's where things can get tricky. I'm a big proponent of Facebook groups, and I'm a big proponent of participating in Facebook groups, and as a marketing tactic, as a way to get your brand out there, as a way to become an expert, as a way to be trusted by your clients or people who are potentially your clients. That's what I do as the owner of Tech Site Builder. I'm active in lots of different Facebook groups, and I do accept friend requests from people who are my clients, listeners of the show, other computer business owners, people who use Tech Site Builder, people who use my WordPress development services. I do allow them to friend me on Facebook. I friend them back. But here's the key. I allow them to be my friend, but I put them in the restricted friends group. And we've talked about this before. But when you accept someone as a friend on Facebook, there's a button that appears after you accept their friendship, and it says friends or something like that. You click that button, it gives you a drop down, and then in that drop down you can choose to add them to a friends list. Scroll down that list, and at the very bottom there's a list called restricted, and then click on that. That'll put a check mark next to it, and now that friend is considered a restricted friend, which basically means they will only be able to see whatever you post publicly. So that's what I've done. Most of you guys who are following me, you're on my restricted list, and that's nothing personal, right? It's because there are certain things I only want to share with close friends or family, and then everything else, like just cool things I see when I'm traveling, or motivational quotes or something like that. That might be something I post publicly, so that I don't get any drama that's going on out there. Not that there's any drama going on, but you know what I mean. Political stuff and all of that stuff. So I would really urge you to do that as well if you are accepting friend requests from clients or business associates. People who you don't necessarily interact with regularly in person. I would put them on the restricted list, and then just pay attention to when you share something on Facebook. Is it something you want everyone, including your clients, to see? Then make that public. Or is it something that you just only want your close friends and family to see? Then you can check the privacy setting that makes it only visible to friends. And that's something that's easily accessible when you post in Facebook. There's a little toggle there where you can choose who gets to see your post. So that's kind of my way of solving that problem, right? There are clients that want to friend you because they want to send you a message, or because they want to, feel like they have a connection with you. And I would encourage you to do that, because that only strengthens your relationship with that client. It makes that client less likely to go off and use another service provider, and makes that client less likely to pay you late, or less likely to, just stop talking to you and not return your messages or whatever. I think it does help to strengthen that bond. And so far it's been working for me. This is a hugely personal issue, though. So I think whatever, you do has to work for you and work for your particular situation. But I'd love to hear from the folks who are watching this live. How do you handle this? If your clients want to friend you on Facebook, do you allow it? If not, why? If so, do you use that restricted group, or do you allow them to see everything you post? Some of us don't post anything on Facebook that's personal. I do. So I like to keep that stuff separated because I have family that's all over the country. I'm not a big phone person. I don't call them on the phone as much as I should. I'm sorry, guys. So I like to keep Facebook as a way to keep in touch with my family, share some personal stuff with them. So that's why I'd make that separation between family and clients and business associates. But that was definitely an interesting topic that came up in the marketing Facebook group. Another topic that came up in the group, let's see here, is so we had someone who posted about they're an app developer, a web app developer. And that's the cool thing about the Computer Business Marketing Group is computer business is a pretty broad term. And so it can kind of encompass anything. We had Jay Burley on earlier, who started out as a computer repair person, but then his business evolved into a software development business. Same with someone like Brian Best, who was a guest on a previous episode as well, who started out as Break Fix Mac, then MSP, and now he's kind of a mixture of MSP and product development and all of that stuff. So we like to have a broad mix of different computer business professionals in the Computer Business Marketing Group. And one of those folks is Amit. And Amit I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he was talking about that he's got a web app development company where a lot of his projects tend to be in the 5-figure range. And sometimes they'll eventually morph into 6-figure projects. And he was asking the group how he can get six-figure projects from the beginning. So how can he kind of attract those bigger budget projects? Now I was interested because a lot of the feedback he got in the comments was, wow, you're playing in the stratosphere. You're out of our league. A lot of folks in this group are not doing, 5-figure, 6-figure projects. But that, keep in mind, that's kind of the difference between software development and computer repair or computer support or IT administration or IT support. A lot of your types of projects are smaller projects, one-off projects, or it's continual monthly projects, right? You have that MSP model where you have folks on a continual support basis, and although like any one payment might not be 5 figures or 6 figures, if you consider some of the smaller or even medium-sized MSPs that are out there, you're talking like 10, 20, up to 50 seats per client, and you have a handful of those clients, over time, especially if it's every month, you're going to have 5-6 figure projects. It's just going to take a lot longer for it to get up to that level. So don't think just because someone is in a industry like app development. I'm in the same boat, web development. My typical project for website development is between 5 and 10 grand. You're not really going to turn that kind of revenue on a typical like break fix brick and mortar type of service. You're looking more like 500, 1,000 per job. So just keep that in mind, that software development is a little different animal. His projects probably last a good chunk of the year. And so that 5 to 6 figures is going to take a long time to finish out that project, because you've got to, gather their requirements, and then build a prototype, and then do testing on the prototype, and then make tweaks and changes, and then do design around that prototype, and then come out with, you know, a development version that looks like it's completed, but then there's still a lot of stuff you need to do, and then you need to do user testing, and all of that stuff could come into play in software development. So that's kind of the reason I wanted to bring that up is sometimes folks in different groups will throw around numbers that might seem like way out of your league, or might seem maybe the opposite. It might seem too small for you, and you don't want to even, you know, you can't relate to them. But just keep in mind that everything's relative, and different business models might approach revenue in different ways. So some people, you know, have the monthly revenue over time that adds up, or some people might have big projects that they do, but those projects last days, weeks, months, years. And just keep that in mind. So what he's really asking is just how to increase the level of client he's getting. And that's something we all experience, where we need to, you know, we go from residential to business services, and then from business services to, you know, maybe, you know, small business to medium business, and from medium business to, you know, large business or enterprise. And so we're all kind of, you know, looking to get to that next level. And a lot of the tactics are really the same. You know, for Amit, it was really about, you know, who should he be approaching? What type of client should he be approaching? He doesn't want to approach government clients because he feels like there's a lot of red tape involved, and it's hard to land those projects based on the amount of work you need to put in up front to land them. But you know, Brian mentioned that it depends on the location. So if you can go to locales where the government is a little bit smaller, those types of small government, like at the town level or the county level, those projects might, you know, you might want to target smaller counties or smaller towns, because those projects, they still might have a good budget, but there might not be as much red tape, there might not be as much competition, and maybe you can get away with higher bids and higher projects. But that was just an interesting back and forth. Also, it looks like Jay Burley might have found a partnership opportunity with Amit, because they were kind of going back and forth with, they have different clients and fill different needs, and they're both software developers, so they kind of connected there. So that was good. So that's kind of some of the stuff you can see going on in the Computer Business Marketing Group. Search for it in Facebook, Computer Business Marketing, and join us. We'd love to have you there, and we love your feedback on all of these topics that are going on over there. Yeah, see, in the chat, Michael Matthews mentions that the MSP model does come close to those figures, right? And that's right. I mean, depending on the size of your clients as an MSP, you can surpass that. And, you know, I mean, it just depends. And so I you know, we're all kind of playing on different levels in this group, but the cool thing is that a lot of the advice that we're giving pertains to all levels. Hey, Cristobal just joined us in the Facebook Live group. How you doing, Chris? Had the pleasure of meeting you at the Unconvention, and it was great to hang out with folks who I see showing up in the Facebook Live here, and meeting you face to face was really awesome. So let's jump into the featured topic. Before we do that, just want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this podcast, which is TechSite Builder. That's my baby. That is the company I run that will help you as a computer business owner with your website. Really, what TechSite Builder is, it's a platform. It's a web builder platform specifically made for computer business owners. The goal of TechSite Builder is to be fast, and efficient, and, you know, just very easy for you to get your website up and running, because you fix computers, or you consult with networks or IT services, A lot of times that is very different than designing and developing a website. You know, that's more coding and app development and that kind of thing. And a lot of times those don't mix. So if they don't mix and you've been struggling, or you've been using something like Wix or Squarespace, or you've been trying to, you know, find a WordPress theme that works for your computer business, don't waste time with any of that stuff. Don't worry about that. Just come over to TechSite Builder, and we give you the platform to make it really easy. The thing about TechSite Builder is there's no fluff. A lot of times with like those WordPress themes, or even with Squarespace or Wix, you have, you know, those are developed for everybody. So there's all this filler and fluff that you don't need, like image galleries and, you know, slidey doodads and animation who's-its and you know, whatever that you don't really need, because you're just trying to sell IT services. So so TechSite Builder only gives you what you need. We give you a space to highlight your services, make it really easy. You can show your price if you want to or not. We have a place where you could put your business address if you're a storefront. If not, we put your phone number up front, way at the top, nice and big, so that it's always visible. And then we have contact form on the home page and in every place that you want to put it, so that people can contact you very easily. And then and then a place for testimonials. So you can highlight what people have said about you, a place for your blog posts, so you can keep your content updated and have, you know, updated content for your clients. And then that's about it. There's not a lot of extra stuff to get in the way of you having an effective website. TechSite Builder websites are mobile responsive, so they look good on mobile phones, on tablets, on desktop computers, and so, again, you don't have to worry about it. We take care of security. We have security firewall. We have hardware level security. We have hardware level caching to make your website super fast. So all of this comes together to give you just a top shelf experience with your website. You can set it up, you can build it, you can add content, you can make it look however you want, or you can order one of our concierge services so that we can do it for you, and we can put together your website, and we can get a professional copywriter to write your copy and to write blog posts for you. So you don't even need to do anything. Just sign up for TechSite Builder, order concierge service, and bam, we'll have a beautiful website up and running for you. So check that out at techsitebuilder.com. And if you have any questions, just fill out the contact form over there at techsitebuilder.com, and we'd be happy to answer it for you. And that's that. All right, guys, let's jump into the featured topic today, which is going to be talking all about live events, how to take advantage of live events to market your computer business or to practice marketing your business. And we'll kind of get into what I mean when I say that. So first of all, I just kind of want to give a recap of the Unconvention. So you've heard me talking most of this year about the Unconvention, especially as long as this podcast has been on the air. As long as we've been doing this live video podcast, you've heard me talk about the Unconvention. It's something that I got involved heavily with this year. I became a sponsor, and I did most of the organizing as far as the location and the venue and the food and the logistics and all of that stuff. So that was definitely eye-opening. It's props to anyone who puts together events and who has to do all that stuff, because it's a lot of work, and a lot of stuff can go wrong, and it's a lot of balls to juggle, but I think it came together well. Got a lot of great feedback from folks who really enjoyed it, and it seemed to be effective. A lot of good information. People said they came away with lots of good information, so it seemed to be a success. It seemed to work out really great. So kind of what happened was on Friday, we had a get-together at a local bar in Washington, D.C. It was called the Iron Horse Tap Room, and it was a bike, quote-unquote, biker bar, but not really. It was a bike-themed bar, so it wasn't a biker bar, because there's not, like, big guys in beards and leather jackets hanging out. It was a bar with, like, Harley Davidson memorabilia everywhere, and bikes hanging from the ceiling and stuff. But it was just a regular bar with lots of really cool beer, lots of local beer, and other drinks that people enjoyed. So it was really cool. I thought that was a great opportunity to get lots of people in before the event happened, and to just mix and mingle and loosen up a little bit and get to know each other. So that was really cool, and we had a good turnout. About, I think, half of everyone who showed up at the Unconvention showed up at our Friday night social. So that was a kind of a fun way to kick things off. And then Saturday morning we started bright and early at actually not too early. I mean, we got things started at about 9:30. We had a nice breakfast. Everyone got situated. Okay, let me tell you one thing. If you're ever going to host an event for computer business owners and probably just entrepreneurs in general, be ready for people to show up like an hour early. Like we told people, the event started at 9:30, and we had people rolling in at 8:30 and 8:45 and 8:20, I think. And so we're like frantically running around getting started, so hey, we're a punctual crowd, right? And we know that through dealing with clients and stuff, that you got to be on time. You got to even showing up early is being on time. So just something to note, if you ever do put together an event for computer business owners or entrepreneurs in general, be prepared for folks to start showing up early, and maybe I don't know, keep the door locked until you're ready for people to come in. But it was no problem. It was actually cool having people there, and it gave them a chance again to kind of talk and get to know each other and relax and just get comfortable in the room and stuff. So we had folks coming in, and then we started the morning with the pod note. So that was Mike Smith from the Mike Tech Show, myself, Marvin B, and J. David Sims from oh gosh, the name of his podcast escapes me, but it's a HIPAA related podcast. So it was the four of us up there talking about how to convey value in your services and how to make sure that your clients are paying, are gonna be able to pay, or not be able to pay, but are gonna be willing to pay, the top level price that you're offering. So we kind of encouraged folks to not compete on price, instead to bill yourself as a premium service and to charge premium prices. Because when you do that, see, the cool thing about charging premium prices is that you can then offer awesome service. Like, you can take the time to really get to know your clients and have in-person meetings with them, and you take the time to really work through the issues if you're getting paid well. Because that's the big thing, especially with like my web development services, for those big projects where the client is able to afford to pay a good rate. I'm able to have lots of follow-up meetings with them. I'm able to really get to know them and gather the requirements for the website. I'm able to have lots of revisions. So I show them the website, they say, can we tweak this, can we tweak that, and we go back and forth on that quite a bit, because I have that breathing room, and because I have I'm being paid as a premium consultant, so I'm able to give them a premium service. So that's something we were trying to convey through this talk, is that give that next level service, and you can charge those next level prices. So that's what we did at the pod note. After that, let's see, I'm trying to remember the schedule because it was a little bit fluid, but things tended to go as planned. After that, then we went into our long lunch. So we had all of the sponsors who were there, all of the vendors. They were able to give a quick pitch about their products and services, and that's something I'm going to get into later on in the featured topic about if you ever sponsor an event. I learned a lot from the folks who were sponsoring this event, in that, it's all about just continuing to give value. Even if you're sponsoring an event, that doesn't mean you get to show up and say, hey, purchase my product, purchase my product, purchase my product. My product's really great. Purchase my product. You still want to continue that relationship that you've done through everything else that you've been doing, like your blog posts and your email newsletters, that value that we keep talking about that you want to convey. you want to continue to do that. And so that's what our sponsors did. All of them did a great job of saying, hey, how can I help you guys? We want to get your feedback. We want to show you the cool things we're working on. So that's what they did. And then during that long lunch, people had the opportunity to sit with each of the vendors or talk with each of the sponsors that they wanted to talk to, and learn more, get to know them, that kind of thing. After that, we did the expert presentation with Brian Best of Best Macs, and he has been a guest on the show before, and he gave a knockout presentation about taking us through all the steps he took to start his break fix business, grow it into an MSP, and then sell it. And then he also talked about starting a side hustle, which was really cool, like a side business where his side business is building software to help people who support Macs, Macintosh computers, so he encouraged all of us who were there to kind of start a side hustle as well. So if you're in computer repair, maybe you can think of a product or service that might help your clients or might help other computer repair people, or even just might help yourself at first, and then work on developing something, and then maybe sell it or see how it works. But that was a cool presentation from Brian. Then we went into the working groups where we broke out into small groups to talk about pricing, marketing, or improving your productivity. And we spent the rest of the day doing that, and then doing a recap of what we learned in those groups. And then on Sunday, more cool stuff with Malwarebytes. I'm not going to do a play-by-play here because that might be boring to some of you. I'm not sure, but it was just really cool. Malwarebytes gave us a peek into some cool stuff that they're working on that they haven't released yet. They actually had to, some of the stuff they're sharing with us, we had to be on an NDA and promise not to share it until they release it. So that's the kind of cool stuff you can see at the Unconvention, is kind of behind the scenes and pre-release stuff. So Malwarebytes shared some of that with us. And then we got into the hands-on labs where we learned deeply about things like networking, how to do network tests, and that kind of thing. Compliance. J. David Sims talked about how to get started with compliance and how to make it work for your business. We talked about SEO, search engine optimization, and how to do a self-audit on your SEO. And then Malwarebytes did some cool, again, behind the scenes kind of look at some things they're working on. And we can't talk about that here. Then we had another awesome lunch, and then we did a this was probably I had the most fun with this part of the event, and that was the community Ask Me Anything. So that's where we kind of had everyone who had presented at the event up there answering and asking questions of the rest of the people there. The event is small enough to where everybody who's there can kind of have a dialogue and talk back and forth, and we can all get to know each other and ask each other questions. So we went through lots of things like, what tools do you use? What RMMs do you use? How are you marketing? How do you, get clients? And lots of different specific things that we kind of asked each other about. And that was a lot of fun just to hear feedback from folks and to just kind of everybody's participating. So that was a lot of fun. And then we just kind of ended the day with a networking session where we all just, had the entire room to open to talk to each other and to talk with the sponsors or just kind of mingle and share information. So that was the Unconvention. Again, a lot of great feedback, and we'll let you know, soon if we're going to do it again, and if so, where. We're just kind of, decompressing a little bit after this event and kind of gaining some perspective and getting feedback from the people who went to see what they thought about it. So, would love to hear from folks who went to the Unconvention and hear what you thought about it. Tell your friends, tell everybody in the groups what you thought about it, and make them jealous so that they'll want to come next year. But what I really wanted to get into in today's episode was how you can use these types of marketing events to your advantage, and how you can market at these types of events, how you can market your business. So First of all, one huge takeaway that was really great that came out of the marketing working group session at the Unconvention was was a technique called it does not called anything, but I'm going to call it voicemail cold calling. So this is, a lot of us don't like cold calling, and frankly, people don't like to receive cold calls. And a cold, you know what a cold call is, right? You call someone up, they're not ready, they don't know who you are, and you say, "Hey, I'm blah blah blah, offering computer repair services or IT services," and the person's like, "Man, I'm busy. I don't want to think about that. I'm not ready." And cold calling is just, it's rough. So, so it's funny. Mike Smith works with his son, Mike Smith Jr., and Mike Smith gave his son a task to cold call a bunch of businesses. And Mike Smith Jr. was just, not having it, not enjoying it. And so what he decided to do was wait until after hours when the business was closed and then call them and leave a voice message. So that way he could, gather his thoughts and just kind of lay out what he wanted to say without getting interrupted and without having to, seem all salesy. And so he did that. He left voicemails and he got a great return on that investment. I think they got a couple clients right away out of doing that. And what he says is the major benefit is the people who ended up calling him back and becoming their clients made the comment that, "Oh, we really enjoyed your voicemail. You seemed like a really nice person. You had a very calm personality and a voice." And I think you're able to let that come through because you're not worried about like trying to sell the person really quick and trying to, convince them to use your services without them hanging up. You can leave a voicemail and let it just kind of simmer and just be yourself, and that'll come through on the voicemail. And then the person can get back to you when they're ready. They made a great point that, voicemails, people can save voicemails. So they receive a voicemail from you and they're like, "Oh, I might be interested in that, but not right now. Let me save that for later." So they can save it for later. A lot of cell phones now, you can save it as a file to your computer. So, it's a great way to cold call, call people, but, not have that anxiety, and they can save your message for later. So it kind of works like an email, but I think there's, emails, people getting bombarded with so many emails throughout the day. A lot of businesses don't get as many voicemails. So that's just something to keep in mind. That was a cool takeaway, a marketing tip from that I learned at the Unconvention. And yeah, Brian said that that's a genius idea about the voicemail cold calling. We thought so as well. So that was definitely a cool tip. So so there's kind of two approaches I want to take with the marketing at networking events. There's the, going to a networking event like the Unconvention where you're networking with other of your peers, other computer business owners. You're not necessarily going to be marketing your services to them, but you might. But then there's the other event where it's an event where you're going as a vendor or as you're going because there's a lot of your type of client at that event. And that's where you're going to kind of want to be more there to convey your services and potentially be someone to sell your services to those folks. So, something like the Unconvention, although it might not seem like a place where you would be marketing your services, you'd be surprised how many people at the Unconvention actually ended up hooking up because they offer slightly different services, but they're in the same area. So someone who, does MSP type work and someone who does break fix type work, they might be able to partner, where, the person doing like B2B MSP work might still have folks coming for residential break fix, or maybe their business clients have home computers that need to be fixed every now and then. They don't want to deal with that, but hey, there's this guy I met at the Unconvention who does that. Let me partner with him and send him referrals. He can send me the business referrals, and you can have that kind of symbiotic relationship. There's no better place to set up a relationship like that than at a live event like the Unconvention. an example in my own world is that's where I ended up establishing a relationship with Paco LeBron, who came on to co-host the Computer Business Podcast and then eventually the Computer Business Marketing Show for a couple years. That was a great relationship. It helped me out a ton. It helped grow the podcast, and that built from us meeting in person at ChannelCon all those years ago in Chicago. And then you're able to, kind of see if you're going to work well with this person. You can get to know them a little bit, hang out with them afterwards, and then if you think it's going to work out, then start some kind of partnership, symbiotic partnership, and that's great. That's worth the price of going to the event on its own. And a lot of that happened at the Unconvention. That's something you can look for, whether it's at the Unconvention, at ChannelCon, at ASCII, any of these computer business events that you go to. Just keep an open mind about partnerships, and always ask guys or folks what are the services they offer, and see if there's a gap in the services you offer and if you can have a partnership. A great thing you can do at these computer business marketing events, or not marketing events, these networking events, is to practice your pitch. So even though you're not necessarily pitching to these folks, you can still kind of practice that interaction that you're going to have with potential clients at those other marketing events. But at a place where you're with your peers, there's a lot less pressure. So things you can practice is your elevator pitch. If someone says, "Hey, what does your business do?" or "What do you do with your business?" You want to practice that quick pitch that you can give to someone. It's called an elevator pitch within like 30 seconds, as long as it'll take to go up or down in an elevator ride. You want to be able to summarize what your business is. So for TechSite Builder, I always say that it's, a way to get, it's a platform for computer business owners to get a website up and running that's effective and easy, and we take care of all of that stuff for them. So something like that, where you talk about all of your advantages and how you're different from everybody else. So don't just say I'm a computer repair shop. You can say I am the mobile first computer repair shop, where we can repair your mobile phone and take care of all your other portable devices, so you can get back to doing what you need to do. Or we're an IT services business where you can rely on us to be your go-to IT person if you can't afford to hire a dedicated IT person. We can be that type of person for you, or whatever. Just think, and of course you do better than I just did, because I haven't practiced any of pitches for a business that I don't own. But that's something that you can practice over and over again at an event where you're with like-minded people and then you can ask them for feedback. Hey, how was that pitch? How did I convey my services? Did I really differentiate myself? That kind of stuff. And you can get feedback from your peers. Something else you can do is practice asking questions. So again, that's something that we've talked about. That's good to do at live events. Is instead of saying, "Hey, I do this. Hey, I do that. Hey, this is me." You want to ask the person about them. Hey, how's your computer business? Or if it's at the networking event where you're looking for clients, you can say, hey, what kind of business are you in? Or hey, what brings you to this event? And then just start asking more and more questions. And then eventually it leads you to the question that is going to sell your services in a kind of in a low down way, or in a down low way. And that is, how can I help you? And this was something that actually somebody asked me at the Unconvention that I was not prepared for, because I came to the Unconvention as a sponsor, as a host, as someone who's helping put it together. I was more concerned with how everyone there was doing, that when someone actually asked me what they can do to help me, I was like blown away. Like I didn't know how to answer that, because I wasn't prepared. So that reminded me that if I do go to an event where I am the presenter, or I am the person who is putting the event together, still be prepared to answer the question if someone asks you, how can I help you? Because you want to have an answer to that. You want them to feel like they can help you with something. So be prepared for an answer. You know, maybe it's something like, hey, I'm looking for more work in whatever area you're in, or I'm looking for remote work. Can you help refer folks to me? Or, you know, I'm looking for advice on such and such if they're maybe at a different level than you are. So kind of think, I wish I would have said these answers that I'm saying right now to this person who asked me. But when they asked me, I was just like, I don't know. I was not expecting that answer. So something for you to think about, you know. First of all, ask questions of people and ask what you can do to help them, but also be prepared to answer that question if they ask you it in return, because you know, you want to take advantage of that, and you want to make that person who's asking you that question feel valued as well. So that's something I picked up at this year's Unconvention. Another tip: bring business cards. It seems stupid. It seems like, duh, of course I'm going to a networking event, I need to bring business cards. But with everything I was planning and packing and trying to think about logistically, I forgot to bring business cards. People will still ask for your business cards at a networking event. That's just kind of expected. So first tip, bring business cards. Second tip, have a business card that has room to write on it. I know personally, as someone who was taking a lot of business cards at the Unconvention, some folks were interested in following up with TechSite Builder. Some folks wanted a free trial of TechSite Builder. Some folks already were TechSite Builder clients and wanted me to help them through different things with their website. And so a lot of times I'd have to take their business card and write the notes of what I needed to follow up with them on the business card. Some people's business cards did not have that kind of room. Some people's business cards were all black, so I couldn't write anything legible on them. Some of them had a lot of writing on both the front and back. Just keep in mind that a lot of the benefit of a business card is you have this thing that you can then take notes on and then take back with you, so that you can, when you refer to them later, you can remember what you need to do to follow up with these people. So first tip, bring business cards. Second tip, when you create business cards, make sure to leave some room on the business card for someone to write something. Third tip, when you accept people's business cards, don't be afraid to write notes on the business card. If you know, the person you're talking to says, hey, yeah, I wanted to try out your service, but I've got some questions and I can't remember the questions. I need to go back and think about it. You can say, well, hey, great. Let me follow up with you on that, so that, you know, once you do remember the questions you wanted to ask me, you can do that through email or something. And then, okay, let me write that down so I can be sure to follow up with you. It's not going to look unprofessional. It's going to actually look like you care about what they're talking about, and that you care about following up with them. And that you're actually, you know, taking the time to write that down. So that's another tip to keep in mind with business cards. And that's really, you know, people might think business cards are dead, but every networking event I go to, I always exchange business cards, and I always use those business cards to follow up with the person. Even if you're already Facebook friends or you already follow them on social media, the business card is a great just way to remind yourself to follow up with that person. So that's what business cards were to me at this event. Something else that I learned is very valuable at events, and that was reiterated at the Unconvention, is, you know, be prepared and be willing to go out after hours and continue the conversation and hang out. You have very limited time at a convention because you're going from here to here to here. You got this event, this event, this event. If you go out for dinner or drinks afterwards, that's a great time to really get that one-on-one connection with people, without the hubbub of all the crazy stuff going on with the event. So as you're talking to folks throughout the event, and you build a rapport with someone, or you find a group of people that you feel like your services are very similar, or you want to learn more from, throw it out there. Hey, what are you guys doing for dinner tonight? Or, hey, do you guys want to grab a drink after the event? Or maybe do you want to grab coffee tomorrow morning? Something like that. And take advantage of those opportunities after hours and before hours to continue to network with folks that you met at the event. Because especially like for me, like as the host, I had a lot of people coming up to me asking me things, and I had to be thinking about logistics, and so it was really hard to sit down and actually talk with folks and work through their problems and stuff. So someone could have said, "Hey, let me buy you a drink afterwards," or "Hey, let me take you for coffee tomorrow morning." And one person did that, and so that, I think that's, and that person, we're going to have I think, a great working relationship moving forward. So take advantage of that. If a speaker that you enjoyed had a great speech, say, "Hey, what are you doing tonight? Let me take you out to drinks," or whatever. You'd be surprised. You'd think these people are busy and everyone's asking them out, or everyone's asking them to do something, but no, it only happened to me once, and I'm sure it's not as common as you think. So that's a great thing to take advantage of as well at events, and that's a great way you can talk to some of those people who might not be very approachable during the event, like the speakers or the vendors or whatever. Offer to talk to them after hours. And then my final big takeaway is look for opportunities to organize events. So you don't necessarily have to look for events to go to. If there aren't any events that you like, or you're looking to you're looking for a specific type of client, like business clients, or dentists, or lawyers, or doctors, or professional services, or hairdressers, or whatever. Think about creating an event for those types of people. And it can start as a small meetup of like 5 people. You can go to meetup.com and create a meetup for whatever you want, and start it as 5 people, then grow it grows to 10 people, then 20 people. Then you can start, turning it into a conference or whatever, and rent out a big space and hire caterers and really turn it into something huge. Because, with all the work that I put into the Unconvention, what I got out of it was even greater, and it was so much work, but so much of a pleasure to be able to do that, and to see the reactions of people, and to be able to provide a service for people. And now myself and TechSite Builder are going to be synonymous with putting on a great event, with being a leader in the industry, and you want to be that leader in your industry too. So consider organizing events, even if they're small events. And then as you're organizing events, also think about sponsoring events. So, I'm sure there are lots of, trade shows or business expos or whatever in your city or your town. Look out for those, and then consider being a sponsor. And then when you are a sponsor, again, take the tact of, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Not, hey, you need to buy my services, and here's why you need to buy my services. But, hey, I have a service, but what I'd really like to do is help you with whatever problems you have. That is exactly what Malwarebytes did as the sponsor of the Unconvention. They said, hey, what do you want to see in Malwarebytes? How could we help you? What don't you like about the service? And if you're going to be a sponsor for an event, take that spin also. Just provide value, keep providing value, and then that will come back in sales. And then also, offer to be a speaker. So there's, you can start an event, you can sponsor an event, or you can be a speaker at an event. And that's a great way to establish yourself as an authority and share your story. That's what Brian Best did at the Unconvention. He has this new product that he's offering. It's a Mac support membership type of product, where he'll help you support Macs, and he'll give you kind of the infrastructure you need to support Macs. And so he's kind of introducing this new product, and he did that at the Unconvention by being a speaker. And his entire speech was about his story, and how you can learn from the different mistakes he made, and how you can grow. And he gave a full hour talk about helping the attendees of the Unconvention grow their business. And he got a lot of great feedback. A lot of folks were really interested in his product, even though he never pitched his product the entire time he was giving his presentation. So I think, and I talked to Brian afterwards, and he said, it was well worth it for him to be a speaker at the Unconvention. And same with Malwarebytes. They love being at the Unconvention, and they want to come back again because they get such great value of being a vendor and being a sponsor. So I can't stress it enough. It's really worth it. If you have the money to be a sponsor, sponsor an event. If you don't have the money to sponsor an event, then offer to be a speaker. And don't expect to be paid as a speaker. Instead, your payment is the fact that you're letting yourself be known to the community of the people who are attending the event. So go speak, talk about cybersecurity at a lawyer event, or go talk about HIPAA at a healthcare event, that kind of thing. Look for those opportunities. And I think it's going to work out really well for your business. So we're going to wrap up the show. Let's see. Brian in Facebook said there's also value for the money in online business card services that can contain all your social media addresses, phone number, website, email, and even photos and promo videos. You can just text them the link, and it gives them the option to download your mini app or business card to their smartphone to browse later. Business cards can get misplaced, and it's hard to lose an app you installed on your smartphone. Do you have a link to like a service like that, Brian? I have seen that before. It would be helpful to know where folks can go to get something like that created. And I think, I do like the physical business card, like I said, because that's a place you can take notes. That's how you can remember to follow up with people. And I don't necessarily think a business card is any easier to lose track of than an app on your phone, because if you're like me, you have hundreds of apps on your phone, and a second app might get lost in the sauce. So maybe there's a way to combine the two of those, right? You have a business card, maybe the business card has a link to your business card app where people can get more information. So on the business card, you can just have the quick and dirty stuff, right? Name, phone number, website, and then a link to that business card app or whatever. And that way you can kind of do both. And you can have the physical card, but you can also have that online card as well. So yeah, that's a great idea. If you can, before the show is over, or I might follow up with you later, let me know what service that is, because I'd like to put that in the show notes. I think that would be helpful to folks. Alrighty. Okay, so that's going to do it for this episode of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Love to hear from you guys what you think about this show format. Normally we have a guest, but today we didn't have a guest. What do you think about live events? Are you going to try to go to more live events this coming year? Did anything I say resonate with you? Love to hear your feedback either in the Facebook comments under this video, or head on over to computerbusinessmarketing.com and leave your comments on the show notes page there. For today's episode, it would be computerbusinessmarketing.com/episode 22. We love to hear your feedback. Also, if you listen to the show on iTunes or Stitcher, be sure to leave us a review. Actually, let me check really quick if we have any new reviews. Normally I try to do that before the show, but I forgot. Let's see here. Computer Business Marketing Show. Podcast reviews. Come on, guys. Still only one review from our friend Bruce Corson. So if you're listening to this on your iPhone, on your iPod, on your anything, or if you're on a computer, head on over to iTunes, search for the Computer Business Marketing Show, and leave us a review, please. We need those reviews to help get the show noticed. That will help us get better guests on the show, so we can have some heavy hitters. A lot of times, the better guests are looking for a certain amount of listeners on a podcast before they'll be willing to go on as a guest. So we just there's lots of benefits to having lots of listeners to the podcast. So the way we do that is to spread the word and get more reviews. So head on over to iTunes and leave us a review, honest review. Let me know what you think of the show. And let's see what else. And then just don't forget to check out the sponsor, TechSite Builder. and you can go to techsitebuilder.com, and also go to unconvention.io if you're interested in attending next year's Unconvention. Right now on the website, we have a form right there on the homepage. You can fill it out with your name and email, and then we'll send you a message next time when the next Unconvention, if and when it's coming. We still have to discuss that, but I'm hoping it does, and if it does, then you'll be the first to know about it. So put your info there. Normally, also the folks who hear about it first get a slightly cheaper price on the ticket. So definitely put your information at unconvention.io if you want to hear about future events. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for listening to this. Oh, before I go, I also want to throw this out there. We are not having live shows next week or the week after. And I think maybe even the week after that, because I'm traveling overseas. I'm going to South Korea to visit my girlfriend's family over there. So what I'm going to do is we are going to release podcasts on those weeks, but they're going to be best of shows. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the old podcast, the Computer Business podcast, and we're going to find some of the most popular episodes on that old show and then bring them back and have those as our kind of best of for the weeks that I'm gone. So no live shows next week or the week after, and maybe even the week after that, but I'll be back for live shows after that. So just make sure you follow the TechSite Builder page and then click the following tab and then click the see first option so that next time we do go live, it'll pop up in your Facebook feed. All right, guys, so I won't see you for a few weeks, so go ahead and subscribe to the show on iTunes so you can get those best of episodes, and then we'll see you in a few weeks. So thanks for checking out this episode of the Computer Business Marketing Show. My name is Matthew Rodella, saying here's to your success.